Hi, I'm Beth Herina from Coldwell Banker on the Only Orly Group in Ringwood, and I'm here today with Dean Scaduto of Guaranteed Rate Affinity Mortgages. Thank you, Dean, for coming today and talking to me and my social media people.
Sure, Beth. Of course. Hi, my pleasure.
All right, thank you. So because we're in unprecedented times and the world is a little upside down right now, I asked Dean to come and talk about mortgage rates and what's going on, and also to talk about what his company's doing to adapt to follow the CDC guidelines and, of course, Governor Murphy's guidelines. So, Dean, how is your company adapting to our new social distancing?
Sure. Well, that's a great question, and of course, a big concern, Beth, right now with everyone. So, it started when our company is based out of Chicago, also with the office in South Jersey. We had to transform over 6,000 employees from working in the corporate offices to remote. So that was actually really seamless. Everyone can work remotely from their laptop. We were already set up that way. So that was a pretty easy process. And we did that, and March turned out to be one of our best months ever. We broke 18 records, all working from home. So that was pretty incredible
Wow,
as
congratulations.
a start. Thank
And
you.
I know
Uh,
you do
as
work from home because I know I had a client one weekend, and you're always available because they needed to do a new pre-approval letter, and it was during the Super Bowl, and I was calling you and asking you, and they were calling you to update that letter during the Super Bowl, and I felt so bad bothering you, but you were right there with your computer, and we had that done, and we got our offer in on time. So thank you for that.
Well, you're welcome. It's really actually easy on our part now. Guarantee rate companies has always been at the forefront of technology, and we have a digital mortgage, so everything is done online. All the entry for the pre-approval is done right online. Documents are uploaded online. Documents are signed online, and then during the process, we can continue that all online. So there doesn't have to be any meeting at all if the buyer doesn't want to.
Okay.
And then our closing package, we're one of the few companies that have offered this for the last year. We call it Flash Close. All of the closing documents are done and signed online. The day before, we send a package out to the buyer. They sign all their closing documents online. New Jersey is one of the several states that makes buyers wet sign a couple of documents like the mortgage and the deed. A lot of states don't even require that. I understand Friday that may have been waived. I'm investigating that today to even have that wet signed. So looks like the entire process is done online without any contact at all if the buyer wants it.
Yeah, that's a good thing. So we can all stay safe and keep everybody else safe. So I
Yeah.
know for my company, and since I'm a buyer's agent, what I'm doing is I'm asking people to definitely have a pre-approval before we go out and look at homes. I'm also asking them to drive by homes to see if that's the house, how it looks to them, if the yard looks like something that they want to live in before we go, just to limit the exposure to them, to me, and me to them. I'm also, of course, wearing gloves. I'm hand sanitizing. I'm sanitizing my gloves. I'm sanitizing the door, the key. I'm also trying to keep doors open when people are looking so they can just peek in. Those are some of the things we're doing. And of course, virtual showings have become very popular right now, so people can preview that before they go and look at the house if they need to, because some people are not looking. Their virtual showings is enough and they're purchasing. So that's what we're doing here. So it's good we're all trying to observe the guidelines. So Dean, the big thing that I really want to talk about today is mortgage rates. So how is this pandemic affecting mortgage rates and what's going on for our clients?
Sure. Well, mortgage rates have really been extremely volatile. This is more stress on the back end than probably 2008 for the mortgage industry. Rates at the beginning of March caused one of the biggest refinance booms in my career. They dropped so far, so fast, first week of March, and we could barely keep up with refinances. And then that quickly came to a stop when they went from the low threes skyrocketing into the fours and the fives because of all the turmoil in the back. Now the Federal Reserve stepped in about a week ago to help out and buy these securities. So basically they've settled back into the threes for most 30-year mortgages, but it's all over the map and it's going to be volatile for a while. Uh, Buyers and realtors should be diligent on who they're using now for their lenders. There may be a falling out in the industry. There's lenders that may not make it. And there's also guidelines that are changing by the day. So really need to check with your lender to be careful.
So let me ask you a question. How would you be diligent about finding a lender?
Sure. Well, the first thing as a real estate agent you want to do is know the lender that you're working with.
Right.
So if your buyer comes with a pre-approval from a lender you don't know personally, then that's the first thing I would do is direct them to someone you know is stable.
Right.
Um, you know,
But sometimes they
yep.
come and they're very attached to their mortgage lender and they're just a little nervous. So I do encourage them to look, but what are some things they can ask a lender to make sure that they can get through this time and to get them to close?
Yeah, well, you can't force everybody, but they just need to be diligent on who they're using and double check the guidelines as they're going along, that they don't change through the process.
Right. So just talking to them and asking them a lot of questions, I think is a good, what I recommend to people, even when I give them your number and I say, just call them, talk to them and ask all the questions. And I think that, that conversation is so important because they become more comfortable with you and they hear that you really do care and that you have all the information they need. So what were some of the rates that your clients got this week? Because I know you got one of my people 3% on a VA loan and they were very excited about that. What are some of the other rates that are people, what should they look forward to in the next couple of weeks?
Sure. Well, it's actually impossible to say because they are all over the place. They're not settled yet. The markets are in a bit of a turmoil. So I would just say be patient, get through your pre-approval process and depend on your loan officer to be watching the rates for you.
True, true. Just like the real estate agents are always looking out for them as well. All right, Dean, thank you so much. I do appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today.
You're welcome, Beth. Anytime, of course.
All right, thanks, Dean.
Take care. Be safe.
Bye-bye.